If you want to accomplish anything worth having in life, you have to understand that you will go through a period of time where you suffer mentally. It will feel super difficult, but if you can actually be resilient enough and persevere through those dark times, you will actually end up accomplishing everything you've ever wanted. Now, here's the thing, right? We all have goals. You have goals. I have goals. Everybody has goals, right? But the deciding factor, whether or not you become successful or achieve those goals that you have set for yourself, is this one thing. Whether you give up or not when times get difficult. Not if times get difficult, but when times get difficult. Because the truth is, the hard truth is, it will get difficult. But if you're able to go through those dark times, persevere through those dark times, right? And do not quit, you will actually accomplish everything you've ever wanted. And now I'm going to give you guys an example of my personal journey of what I am actually trying to accomplish right now, right? For you, you may have a similar goal. It may be completely different, but I'm going to give you an example of mine. I'm going to give you an example of what this could also relate to because this applies to anything in life, any type of goal. No goal is too small or too big, right? For me personally, my main goal right now is financial freedom. I am on the mission to become financially free. And what that means to me is simply just being able to wake up whenever I want, do whatever I want with whoever I want, and not have to worry about, making it on time for work or just anything like that. And also enjoying what I do in the process, right? Being fulfilled in what I do, right? So it's not just money, like, anyway, it's just actually accumulating wealth through doing something that I find enjoyable. Now that's my thing, right? Yours may be something like maybe you're trying to accomplish a fitness goal, right? And that's actually a pretty good one because I help people accomplish their fitness goal, so I understand that, right? But here's the thing, right? Even with that example, in your fitness journey, you will actually have difficult times, right? You'll have a period of time where you feel like you're not making progress, so you feel like you're at a plateau and you feel stuck. And guess what? That's gonna make you question everything like, damn, do you even really want to get in shape, right? Do you want to lose that weight? Do you want to build muscles and gain weight, depending on what your goals are? But the deciding factor whether or not you accomplish that goal is going to be this one thing. It's whether you don't give up, right? Whether you give up or not. A lot of people give up and that's why they never accomplish anything. But you have to decide if you want to be like them or if you want to actually be part of the, small percentage of people that actually accomplish their goals. Because the truth is, accomplishing goals or just anything in life is going to take hard work, right? Now, some of the hard work is actually going to come through mental stress, right? You're going to be mentally stressed. You start to overthink. You start to doubt yourself like, damn, do I even really want this? Is this even worth it? But when those moments happen, I want you to remind yourself why you even started in the first place, right? Why do you want to get in shape? Is it because of family? Maybe you have children and you want to be able to play with them, or maybe it's even planning for the future, like you want to have kids in the future and you want to be able to play with them, or maybe you have a health condition that you want to improve. Maybe it's just personal and you just lack confidence and you want to be able to be more confident and you think getting in shape is actually going to help do that for you, which I can actually attest to that. It will actually do that for you. So if that is your reason, take this as a sign to not quit and keep going. And so you have to be able to think and ask yourself those questions to really find a reason to keep going because most people give up when times get hard, right? They forget all about the goals and dreams that they have, right? For themselves. But if you can be that person that is like, you know what? No, I started this for a reason. I know why this is important to me, XYZ, then you can actually accomplish your goal. But the thing is, you have to be able to persevere and be resilient enough to go through those dark times because unfortunately, it's just part of the process. It's part of the journey. And that's what distinguishes those who do not succeed and those who succeed, right? And so, what I've been doing, like I told you guys, right, my main goal right now, my main mission, my main dreams is to become financially free, right? As a lot of you already know, I day trade. Now, day trading is probably one of the hardest jobs out there, right? Mentally, because realistically, physically, it's nothing. You're just on a laptop, you're clicking buttons, right? But the mental stress that day trading brings, I couldn't even explain. But if you're somebody that's watching this and you day trade, I'm I'm sure you understand exactly what I'm saying without even having to say it. But I'm going to give you guys some context, right? And if you've watched my other videos, you kind of already have some context, but I'm going to give you a quick little context, right? So today, specifically speaking, took a few trades, made money on the first one, but because I have this amount in my head that I'm chasing, this figure, right? I ended up taking another trade and then took a loss. Okay, no problem. Down, let's say $50 for the day, no problem, right? Then, because I'm in the mindset of, damn, I have to get rich, I have to be financially free so quick, right? And that's another thing that I'm going to touch base on is we tend to put such a quick time frame on our goals and we're not really realistic with that, right? Because when we don't give ourselves enough time, we start to do things that are erratic, right? That actually goes against of the progress that we could make if we were to actually just, try to get 1% better every day. And so going on with my story, right? I took a third trade, right? But guess what I did with that trade? I ended up leveraging even more, right? So I went in with a heavier size. And that just means I put more money in the trade, right? And you can kind of guess what happened. I ended up losing almost everything, right? And so the mental battle that I'm dealing with is damn, I was making so much progress just 2 weeks ago, but now recently I'm struggling, right? But the reason I'm struggling is because I have this short-term time frame that I want to accumulate wealth by, right? I'm trying to get rich by next week, today, tomorrow, right? Just those short-term goals. It's like, wow, you have your eyes set on getting rich pretty much overnight. When deep down I know that's not gonna happen, right? But for whatever reason, sometimes we want our goals so bad, we want to accomplish something so bad, so quick, that we tend to forget like it's not gonna come that quick, right? It's not gonna happen that quick. It's not gonna happen as quick as you want it to. The only thing guaranteed is if you actually take it slow, follow an actual process, right? Follow an actual plan, you will accomplish that goal, but you cannot speed it up. And it's the same thing that goes for fitness, right? No matter what you do, if you're trying to build weight and build muscles and gain weight, right? You can't really speed it up, right? Same thing goes for losing weight. You can't really speed it up. You have to give yourself time to actually start to make progress because guess what? You're not gonna see progress in a week, in a month, or even in 2 months if you're just starting the gym. Realistically speaking, you're gonna have to give yourself at least 6 months to start seeing progress. Because guess what? Those progress starts to compound, right? Every day that you show up, that's something positive that you did, right? That's good habits that you're building. And eventually those add up. But for whatever reason, we don't give ourselves enough time. And I understand it because, like I said, I'm in a similar situation. I understand what it's like to want something so bad to happen so quick that we try to find other ways around it to have the goal be accomplished quicker. But what I've been learning is that there is no shortcuts, there is no rushing the journey, there is no rushing the process, there is no speeding anything up. You have to just go through the fucking journey. And I've realized that. And it sucks that I had to go through so much mental pain to actually finally learn this. And that's why I'm making this video to hopefully save you, save somebody watching this video, that mental pain of having to make all those silly mistakes to then have to learn that lesson. So if you're watching this video, I hope you can actually learn that from me and don't have to make those mistakes. But one thing I also understand is that sometimes we all have to make our own mistakes on our own to actually learn the lesson that we need to learn. You might learn a different way. I may be giving you all these advice, all these tips, and you don't really pay attention to it. You don't listen to it. You don't take it serious. You have to go through your own struggles to actually learn what you need to learn through that lesson, right? And so I hope this could be helpful, but I don't know if you're actually gonna listen. And that is okay, right? I'm not gonna blame you. That's okay because again, I've done it. There has been people that's given me tips on trading. Like, hey, once you start making a good amount of money, don't get overconfident, don't get cocky, don't try to, over leverage. But guess what? I did exactly that. I have been doing exactly that. Even though I know I shouldn't, I'm still doing it. But it goes back to what I said before is it's simply because we want the goal to happen so quick. We want to accomplish that goal so quick that we try to find that quicker route. We try to rush the process. We try to find a faster way to actually do this. But again, eventually you learn that there is no speeding it up. There is no rush. There is only just a process. So instead, what I recommend to you, if you're watching this and you're going through a similar situation, one, do not quit because you have to be able to tell yourself, I went through way too many emotions. I've invested too much into this goal to actually give up now. Does it suck that you're, you know, having setbacks? Absolutely. I understand that. I've been having setbacks this whole week and last week. I understand that. Does it suck that it's not happening as quick as you would want to? Of course, I understand that. I can relate to that. Does it suck that you just feel like you can't figure it out? Of course, I get that and I understand that. But what you need to remind yourself is it's gonna happen if you don't quit. Because you have to think of it like this, right? If you quit, then what? If you quit and then what? Like what happens next when you quit? You're gonna actually end up having regret, right? You're gonna actually end up thinking in a few years, damn, I wonder what would have happened if I stayed with it, if I didn't quit, if I kept trying. Yeah, sure, you failed 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. But I wonder what would have happened if I actually kept going. And that's what you're gonna be asking yourself. And you'll never really have an answer because guess what? You quit. You quit it. Like you gave up. You gave up. You made the biggest mistake that you could ever make. You gave up on your goals. You gave up on your dreams. And now you'll never know what would have happened if you had just stayed resilient enough. And so, what I've been doing lately is I've been changing my mindset, right? My perspective. I'm rewiring and reframing everything. Okay, sure. I took some big losses in trading in the last 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, what is this teaching me? It's teaching me not to try to rush the fucking process. That's all it's teaching me. Because the only thing I was trying to do was rush the process. I'm like, okay, if I go in with heavier size, I can make a little bit more money and make back everything I lost. No, but guess what? I ended up adding more to my loss. And I did that a few times, did that a few times. I'm like, damn, okay, well, something has to change. And eventually, you actually go through so much pain that you're like, well, damn, okay, I do have to change something. And it's going to be up to you whether or not you learn quick enough or you take a little longer. And even if you take a little longer, it doesn't matter, right? The main objective and the main goal is to not quit because you don't want to live with regret and think, damn, I wonder what would have happened if I didn't quit on my goals. Even though, yes, I went through hard times, I went through difficulty, I felt like I wasn't figuring it out. But what if tomorrow was the day I finally figured it out? What if tomorrow is the day it finally fucking clicked? Can you imagine that? It's like, damn, I quit today, but tomorrow, if I had just tried again, I would have figured it out, you know? And so that actually starts to haunt you. It's like, wow, you'll never really know. And so, my message to you guys, listen, I understand you have goals, I have goals, and it could be very difficult sometimes, right? You can make progress for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You feel like you're making progress, and then boom, you get knocked back down. You take like 10 steps back. That can be very demotivating. I understand that. But all that really is doing is just testing your resiliency and testing how bad you really want the thing you say you want, right? Because sometimes God will actually test you in ways that you don't expect, right? You say you want that financial freedom. Okay, let me see how bad you really want it. Take a few losses. Let's see how you handle that loss, right? Let's see how resilient you really are, how disciplined you really are, right? And for me, I wasn't disciplined in trading, right? These last few weeks, I have not been disciplined. I was super disciplined before that. That's why I was able to make a good amount of money. But then guess what? I gave it all back because I lacked the discipline, because The way I like the discipline was I started doing things that I know I technically should not be doing, right? Over leveraging, trying to get your losses back, revenge trading, you can really call it, and just a bunch of other stuff. When really, if I had just accepted my first loss, you know, come back mentally sharp and prepared, and just take it one day at a time. Okay, you know what? Small little win. Cool. Today. Small little win. Okay, cool. Small little win. Okay, cool. Eventually, they start to stack up. Same thing with your fitness journey. If you didn't try to build muscles in one fucking day, which is absolutely impossible, by the way, or lose weight in one day, which is also impossible. What if you showed up to the gym, you ate clean today. Cool. Nice. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Next day, same thing. Now you have like 5 days stacked up. Okay, cool. Let's do the same thing next week. Okay, cool. Let's do the same thing next week. Same thing next week. So you stack days on top of days, and then weeks on top of weeks, and then months on top of months. Months turns into year, and year on top of year. It's like you can't lose. Just focus on being 1% better every day, and eventually those actually stack up. So, main message that I have for you guys, look, I understand what you're trying to accomplish is difficult, but nothing worth having comes easy in life, right? That's just the truth. And I think it's actually good that way, right? Because imagine how good your story will be when you're able to tell people, like, damn, you know what? Yeah, actually, I went through this type of struggle. I went through this difficult time. But guess what? You never fucking gave up. And that's why you're able to live the life that you are now. And you'll be in a situation, you'll be in a place, right, where you can actually now coach other people if you desire to, right? You can actually give advice to people and be that light that somebody's looking for, right? Be that support system that somebody's looking for to just help them not fucking give up, right? And that's what I tell myself every day. I'm like, damn, okay, if I can go through this, right? Sure, I don't like how things are going right now, but if I can just hold on for one more day, okay, hold on for one more day, hold on for one more day, get through that eventually, right? Weeks pass, months pass, a year passes by, boom, you're in a whole different spot. A lot can change in 1 year. A lot can change in 1 year. And if you just tell yourself that a lot can change in 1 year if you stay focused and just stay locked in, then imagine what you can accomplish. And then eventually you'll be in a spot where you're able to coach people, teach people, and be that leader that somebody's looking for, right? Be that person that is able to give advice and give tips to people, right? And so that's what I have for you guys today is don't quit. Always remember why you started. Always remember why that goal is important to you, why those dreams are important to you. Because sometimes all we really need is to remember our why to actually keep going. So if you can remind yourself of that, remember your why. Don't give up, right? And always remember that, listen, you can come back from anything as long as you don't fucking quit. Like, honestly speaking, you can come back from anything as long as you don't quit. And so I hope you all found this helpful. Hope at least one person found this helpful. And, maybe I can help you avoid making the same mistakes that I did and whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. It doesn't have to be trading. It doesn't even have to be fitness. You can apply this to almost anything in life that you're trying to accomplish. Those difficult times are just a test to see how bad you really want the goal that you claim you want. That's really all it is. Just reframe everything. Just think positive. There's always a positive in every situation. So learn what the lesson is, and that's really all I have for you guys today. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and drop a subscribe on the channel as well too to stay tuned with more videos.